In the far edge of human space, there was a small spaceport called Delta Haven. Ships from different worlds landed here, but it was not a rich place. People came and went quickly. Some worked in factories. Others worked in diners. Life was not easy. Inside a small diner near the landing docks worked a young woman named Mira. She was not rich. Her clothes were simple, her shoes old, but her smile was warm. Every day she worked long hours serving food to strangers. Most people never looked twice at her, but Mira did not mind. She believed kindness was free. One cold morning, a man walked into the diner. His name was Finn. He looked tired and quiet. He wore a dark coat and kept his head down. He sat in the same corner every day, near the window where no one could bother him. He always ordered the cheapest meal. And sometimes he said he had no credits to pay. Myra watched him for days. She noticed his worn-out boots and silent eyes. She guessed he had no home, no family. She felt sorry for him. So one day, when Finn told her he could not pay, Mira just smiled. "Don't worry," she said softly. "Today it's free." Finn looked up, surprised. "Why?" Myra shrugged. "Sometimes people need a little help." After that day, Finn came every morning. He never asked for free food, but Myra made sure his plate was full. She told her boss that Finn always paid. In truth, she covered his meals from her small tips. It was not much, but to her, it felt right. Time passed. Finn started speaking a little more. He said thank you after every meal. He asked Mira how her day was. Mira answered happily. She told him about her sick brother back home, about her long shifts at the diner, and about her dream to leave Delta Haven someday. Finn listened carefully. He never shared much about himself. He only said he was passing through. But Myra didn't mind. She thought he was shy. What Mira did not know was that Finn was not poor at all. He was a rich man, a famous inventor. His name was known on many planets. He created the energy cores that powered great starships. But Finn was tired of wealth and fake friends. He wanted to see real people, real lives. And so he came to this quiet place, hiding who he was. Each day, as Mira served him, Finn watched her. He saw how she smiled even when she was tired. He noticed how she paid for his food without ever expecting thanks. He wondered why someone so poor could have such a big heart. One evening, after the diner closed, Mira sat alone, counting her few remaining credits. She was worried. Her brother's medicine was too costly. She had no way to help him. Still, she thought of Finn and smiled. "At least someone's not hungry tonight," she whispered. At the same time, in his small rented room, Finn thought about Myra too. He felt something strange in his heart, a feeling he had not known for many years. He was starting to care. The next morning, as Mira cleaned a table, Finn sat down quietly in his usual spot. But today, he said something new. "Why do you help?" he asked softly. Mira looked at him and smiled. "Because you look like you needed it." Finn said nothing more. But deep inside, something had changed. Neither of them knew it yet, but this small act of kindness was the start of something bigger than both of them. Something that could change both their lives forever. The days at the small spaceport diner passed quietly. Mira worked the same long hours, serving plates and cleaning tables. She was always tired, but when she saw Finn sitting in the corner, she smiled. Her small kindness to him had become a daily habit. She still paid for his meals from her tips, but she never told him. To her, helping someone was just normal. But Myra didn't know the truth about Finn. Finn was not a poor traveler. In reality, he was a millionaire inventor. His name, Finn Raylan, was famous on many worlds, though people at this small port didn't know him. He had created powerful energy cores for human starships. These cores made space travel faster and safer. His company, Relantech, was one of the richest in human space. Yet Finn was tired of living like a rich man. People only talked to him for money or business. He no longer trusted anyone. That's why he wore simple clothes and stayed in quiet places like Delta Haven, hiding his real identity. He wanted to watch real people. He wanted to understand life without wealth. Myra's small diner became his favorite place. At first, Finn thought of Myra as just a kind stranger. But soon, he saw more. He noticed how hard she worked. He saw her hands shaking when she was too tired. He saw how her smile never faded, even when customers were rude or when her shoes had holes. And every day, she secretly paid for his food without telling anyone. Finn watched all this silently. One evening, after Myra finished her shift, Finn followed her at a distance. He saw her walking back to a small broken house near the old fuel station. He saw her sitting outside the door, holding a small pad, crying quietly. She was reading a message about her brother's illness. Finn felt a strange pain in his chest. He could help her easily. He had more money than she could ever imagine. But he also knew Myra was proud. She didn't ask for help. The next morning, Finn sat in his usual seat. Myra brought him breakfast without asking for payment. "You don't talk much," Myra said softly, trying to make conversation. Finn looked at her. "I listen," Myra smiled. "To what?" "To people like you." Myra didn't understand. She just laughed softly and said, "Well, there's not much to hear in this place." But Finn thought differently. In Myra, he saw something rare, pure kindness without reason. He wanted to learn why. Later that day, Finn sat in his small rented room, thinking deeply. He looked at his pad. Messages from his company filled the screen. People wanted him back. Deals needed signing. Ships needed more cores, but Finn ignored all of them. His mind was not in business anymore. He thought only of Myra. Why does she help a stranger every day? He whispered to himself. The first time in years, Finn felt unsure. He had built machines and systems, but he didn't understand a simple human heart. The next morning, Finn made a decision. He would stay longer at Delta Haven. He wanted to know more about Myra, not as an observer, not as a businessman, but as a man trying to understand kindness. Back at the diner, Myra served him his meal as usual. But today, she noticed something different. Finn's eyes were softer. His silence felt less cold. "Are you okay?" Myra asked gently. "I'm learning," Finn replied. Myra laughed. "Learning what?" Finn didn't answer. In his mind, he knew the truth. He was learning what it meant to be human again, and he had Myra to thank for that. Days turned into weeks. Every morning, Finn sat in his usual corner, and every morning, Myra served him with a warm smile. Though her body was tired, her heart stayed strong. She never told Finn about her problems. She never asked for anything in return. For her, kindness was natural, but something inside Finn had changed. Each day, he looked forward to seeing Myra. He waited for her simple words, her gentle smile. He listened when she spoke, even about small things like the weather or how her shift went. For a man who once lived in silence, this small talk felt special. One morning, as Myra placed his plate in front of him, Finn spoke first. "Why do you always smile?" he asked softly. Myra looked at him and laughed. "Because crying doesn't pay the bills." Finn didn't laugh, but Myra's smile didn't fade. She sat down for a moment, breaking her rule. She wasn't supposed to sit with customers, but no one cared. The diner was almost empty. "I've seen life," Myra said quietly. "It's hard, but a smile makes it easier. For me and for others." Finn looked at her carefully. He believed her. Myra wasn't pretending. After that morning, Myra and Finn spoke more often. Their talk stayed simple. Myra told him stories about her childhood on a small farming moon. She talked about her sick brother, who needed medicine she couldn't afford. She even shared her dream. One day, she wanted to leave Delta Haven and see the stars. Finn listened, silently feeling her words. He wanted to help her. He could buy her a ship, give her credits, fix her problems in one moment. But he knew Mira. She wouldn't accept charity. Her pride was as strong as her kindness. So Finn stayed silent. One day, Mira asked him something. "What about you? Where are you from?" Finn looked at her for a long time. Then he said, "Nowhere important." Mira understood. She didn't push him. She thought he was just another lost soul, like many travelers passing through Delta Haven, but Finn wasn't lost. He was hiding in the quiet evenings. After Mira finished her shifts, she found herself thinking about Finn too. She didn't know why. He was silent, strange, and kept his secrets. Yet something about him felt safe. He wasn't like other customers who stared or made rude jokes. Finn respected her. And that respect meant something to her. One night, as Finn sat alone in his small room, he stared at the ceiling. His mind felt heavy. He thought of Mira's stories, her dreams, her tired smile. His own life felt empty compared to hers. He had money, ships, and power, but no one who truly cared about him. He wondered why. Was it his money that built walls around him? Or had he forgotten how to be human? Mira's small kindness had shown him something he had long forgotten. The value of real connection. The next morning, Finn did something unusual. After finishing his meal, he waited until Mira had a free moment. "Will you sit with me?" he asked. Mira was surprised but said yes. For the first time, Finn asked her about her favorite places, her happiest memories. Mira smiled more during that talk than she had in weeks. She told him about sunsets on her home moon, about playing with her brother before he got sick. Finn listened carefully, feeling her words touch places inside him that he didn't know were still alive. When Mira went back to work, Finn sat alone, thinking. He wasn't just observing Mira anymore. He was starting to care, and somewhere deep inside, Finn felt afraid. Mira's life was not easy, but she always tried to smile. Every day, she worked long hours at the small spaceport diner. She woke up early, cleaned tables, took orders, and served food. Her hands were rough, her back hurt, and her feet were tired. But when customers came in, Mira smiled. She believed kindness could make even a hard day feel lighter. But inside her heart, things were not light. Her younger brother, Ravi, was sick. He lived on their home moon, cared for by an old neighbor. His medicine was expensive, and Mira's small paychecks were not enough. Each night, she sent money back home. Each morning, she counted credits and worried it wasn't enough. She didn't tell anyone about this struggle. Not her boss, not other workers. And not Finn. Mira didn't want pity. She wanted strength. But Finn saw the truth. Day after day, Finn watched Mira work. He saw her tired eyes, the way her shoulders dropped when no one was looking. He noticed her old shoes, cracked and worn. He heard her soft sighs when she thought no one listened. He felt helpless. He could help her. He had the power to fix everything. But Finn knew Mira. If he told her he was rich, if he offered her money, she would walk away. She was proud. Her kindness was real. She didn't help others to gain favors. She helped because her heart was good. One evening, Finn stayed in the diner longer than usual. The other customers had left. Mira was cleaning tables. "You look tired," Finn said softly. Mira smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I'll be fine." Finn watched her carefully. "Do you have anyone to help you?" Mira paused. For a moment, Finn thought she might tell him. But then she shook her head. "People help themselves in this world," she said simply. "No one's coming to save us." Her words hit Finn like a heavy stone. That night, Finn sat alone in his rented room. He stared at the wall, deep in thought. He remembered his old life, fancy parties, rich investors, people who smiled at him only because of his money. He remembered the empty words and the fake friendships. But Mira was different. She gave without asking. She smiled without reason. and she struggled without showing. For the first time in years, Finn felt powerless. He wanted to help her, not as a rich man, but as a friend. The next day, Finn tried something new. He started leaving small, extra credits under his plate after each meal. Not enough to scare Myra, but enough to ease her burden. Myra found them, but didn't know where they came from. She asked her boss, but he said he hadn't left them. She looked at Finn, but he acted as silent as always. She thought maybe a kind stranger had left them. She didn't know it was Finn. Still, the extra credits helped her buy better food for herself. She also sent more money to Ravi that week. It wasn't much, but to her, it felt like a miracle. One evening as she placed Finn's meal, Mira said softly, "Someone is leaving small blessings for me." Finn looked up, his expression calm. "Maybe someone wants to help." Mira smiled gently. "If I knew who, I'd thank them." Finn didn't reply, but inside, his heart felt warm. Each day after that, Finn kept leaving small credits. Mira felt grateful, though she still believed she was alone. What she didn't know was that someone was quietly fighting for her, someone who had once built starships and was now learning how to build trust. Life at the small diner continued as usual. Mira worked every morning, smiling and serving, while Finn sat quietly in his corner seat. Their strange friendship grew silently. They talked more now, small talks, simple words. But in those simple words, trust was slowly forming. Finn still left small credits under his plate after every meal. Mira never found out it was him, but she felt thankful. She called it her small blessing. It made her believe that maybe the universe wasn't always cruel. But one day, everything changed. It started like a normal morning. The spaceport was busy. More ships landed than usual. Strange travelers filled the diner. Mira served them all with her usual quiet smile. Finn watched everything from his corner, his sharp mind noticing small details others missed. Then trouble came. 3 armed men entered the diner. They weren't normal travelers. Their weapons were old but dangerous. Their eyes were cold. They moved quickly, shouting orders at everyone. "Sit down, hands up, this is a raid." Mira froze in fear. She had seen such men before. Pirates, desperate criminals who raided small stations for quick money. People obeyed without question. No one wanted to die. Finn stayed calm. He watched the pirates carefully, calculating silently. One pirate grabbed Mira roughly. "You get the credits from the register." Now Mira's hands shook. She nodded, trying to avoid his eyes. But before she could move, something unexpected happened. Finn stood up. His quiet voice broke the silence. "Let her go." The pirates turned to him, laughing. "Who are you, old man?" One of them mocked. Mira looked at Finn with wide, shocked eyes. She whispered, "Please, don't." But Finn didn't step back. In one quick move, he pulled a small device from his coat, round silver disc. Before the pirates understood what it was, Finn pressed the center. A bright blue shield burst out, covering him like a protective bubble. Energy shield. Pirates tried to shoot. Their bullets bounced off harmlessly. In the next moment, Finn moved forward fast. He used the shield not just for defense, but as a weapon. He pushed the men back with powerful force. 2 pirates fell hard, stunned. The third tried to escape, but Finn threw the disc at his legs. The man dropped instantly. Silence filled the diner. Customers and workers stared, shocked. Mira's heart raced. She couldn't believe her eyes. Finn, the silent traveler who looked poor, was standing like a trained fighter, using tech she had never seen. Finn looked at Myra. His expression was calm, but his eyes were full of worry. "Are you hurt?" he asked softly. Mira shook her head, unable to speak. Station security arrived minutes later, taking the pirates away. People thanked Finn, calling him a hero. But Finn ignored them. He looked only at Myra. "I didn't want you to be scared," he said quietly. Myra's mind was spinning. Questions filled her heart. Who was this man? Where did he get such advanced tech? Why did he hide his skills for so long? She felt confused and betrayed. That evening, the diner stayed quiet. Mira sat alone, thinking about everything that happened. Finn didn't come for dinner. She wondered if he left the spaceport. She remembered his soft voice, his gentle questions. And now his secret. Was he just using her? Were his kind words lies? Her heart hurt. In a small room nearby, Finn sat silently too. He knew Mira had seen too much. He hadn't planned for this. His secret, hidden for so long, had been revealed. He wondered if Mira would ever speak to him. Again. One thing was certain now. The walls he had built between them had broken. And Finn wasn't sure if that was good or bad. The next morning, Mira came to the diner, but her heart felt heavy. She kept thinking about Finn. Who was he really? Why did he hide his truth? She remembered the way he fought, the energy shield, and the strange device he used. That wasn't something a poor traveler carried. She wanted answers. But Finn didn't come that morning. He didn't come in the afternoon either. Myra felt strange. She was hurt, but also worried. She told herself he was just a customer, but her heart said something else. Later that day, her questions were answered in the most unexpected way. A news report played on the diner's old wall screen. Mira wasn't watching, but when she heard the name Finn Raylan, her hands froze. She turned. The screen showed Finn's face. It was him. But the news didn't call him a traveler or a worker. The report said, Finn Raylan, creator of Ralantech, inventor of energy cores powering human space. Net worth, over 10 billion credits. Mira felt her legs weaken. Her heart beat faster. Finn was a millionaire? No. More than that, he was one of the richest and most important people in human space. She sat down slowly, unable to breathe properly. Why did he come to her small diner? Why did he pretend to be poor? Why did he hide? Tears filled her eyes. Not because he was rich, but because he didn't trust her. He let her pay for his food. He let her think he was a lost poor man all this time. She thought she was helping him, but maybe he was just watching her, studying her, like she was part of some game. Myra felt broken. That evening, she didn't go home after her shift. She sat at the back of the diner, her eyes empty, her heart cold. For the first time in months, she didn't think about her brother. She only thought about Finn. Then, just before midnight, Finn appeared. He stood silently near the door, looking tired. He wore the same old coat, his hair messy. But now, Mira saw him differently. She stood up, her voice shaking. Why? She whispered. Finn didn't answer. Myra's voice broke. Why did you lie to me? I didn't lie, Finn said softly. I just didn't tell you. Same thing. Finn looked down, ashamed. I didn't want you to see me as him, Finn Raylan. People treat me like I'm a machine, a credit box. I wanted someone to talk to me like a person. And so you let me think you were poor? Mira asked, tears in her eyes. You let me pay for your food every day? Finn stepped closer. His voice was quiet, full of regret. I didn't want your help. I just wanted your kindness. Mira looked away. Her heart was broken. She thought their friendship was real. Now she wasn't sure. You used me, she whispered. No, Finn said quickly. I cared. Mira shook her head. You're rich, you could have told me, but you didn't. I thought you'd stop being kind. Mira turned to him, angry tears in her eyes. Maybe you don't understand real kindness then. Finn stood there silently. He had built starships, powered cities, and changed the future of humanity. But now, he felt helpless. Mira's words hurt more than any weapon. Finally, Mira whispered, Please, leave. Finn nodded slowly. Without a word, he turned and walked out of the diner. Myra watched him go. In her heart, Something felt empty. She didn't know if it was anger or sadness. And for the first time since he met her, Finn felt truly lost. Not in space. But in her eyes. For the next 2 days, Finn didn't come to the diner. Myra worked in silence. Her smile was gone. The other workers noticed but said nothing. She moved like a machine, serving food without heart. Inside, her mind kept replaying the moment she saw Finn's face on the news screen. He was rich, powerful, famous, and he hid all of it. She remembered his quiet voice, his sad eyes, the way he listened to her stories. Were those moments fake too? Her heart said no, but her mind stayed unsure. On the 3rd night, Mira sat outside the diner after closing. The stars above the spaceport shone bright. She looked up and whispered, "Why did you come into my life, Finn?" Just then, she heard soft footsteps behind her. She turned. It was him. Finn stood there, wearing the same simple coat. No guards, no machines. Just him. "I'm sorry," he said softly. Myra looked at him, her eyes tired. "You should be." Finn sat down a few steps away, leaving space between them. "I didn't come to explain who I am," he said. "I came to explain why I came." Mira stayed silent. Finn looked up at the stars. "I have money, ships, cities with my name on them, but none of that feels real. People see me as a company, not a man. They speak to me like I'm a machine." Mira listened quietly. "I came to Delta Haven to disappear," Finn continued. "And then I met you." Mira's throat tightened. "I thought you were just kind," Finn said. "But you were more. You listened to me, spoke to me like I mattered, without knowing who I was." "Because I thought you were human," Mira whispered. Finn nodded. "I am." For a long moment, neither spoke. Finally, Mira looked at him. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I was afraid," Finn answered honestly. "I didn't want your kindness to stop." Mira felt tears in her eyes. She wiped them quickly. "Kindness doesn't change with money, Finn. I know that now." She looked away. "You let me pay for your meals." "I didn't want your charity," Finn said softly, "but I accepted your kindness because it felt real." Mira's heart felt confused. She wanted to stay angry. But looking at him now, she saw no pride, no lies. Only a lonely man trying to understand life. "What do you want from me now?" she asked quietly. Finn looked down. "Nothing." Mira looked at him, surprised. "I came here to say sorry," Finn said. "Not as a rich man. Not as Finn Raylan. Just as Finn, a man who misses talking to you." Mira felt her heart soften. She realized something. He never asked for her help. He never forced her to be kind. And now he wasn't asking for forgiveness either. He just wanted to speak. For the first time, Mira saw the truth. Behind all the credits and machines, Finn was human. Just like her. "I don't know if I can trust you," she whispered. "I understand," Finn said softly. Mira looked up at the stars again. After a long silence, she asked, "Do you miss being normal?" Finn smiled sadly. "I don't remember what normal feels like." Mira closed her eyes. Neither of them spoke after that. They just sat together in silence under the cold stars. Two people from different worlds, but sharing the same empty feeling. That night, Finn stood up and said softly, "Goodbye, Mira." She looked at him one last time. He walked away slowly, not as a millionaire, not as an inventor, but as a lonely man. Mira sat alone in the dark. Her heart didn't feel angry anymore. It just felt empty.